This week in comic books, Joker number 10 comes out, and really this comic book should just be called A Bunch of Jim Gordon Flashbacks. Because I feel like that's been the majority of the book, just up front and out there. Also in the land of Marvel, we get another run on Wolverine out in those wastelands. Oh, let's talk about it. And in the land of Independence, my favorite Independent came out, Delta Dogs. And oh, this was an action-packed one, and I really enjoyed it, and I want to share that and a bunch of other comic books with you right after that intro. Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos? Pocan Joe, and as always, you're super cool for swinging by. I love having you here. Sorry this one's getting out so late. Just everything. The holidays, and then C2E2, and my wife wants to do a bunch of BS shopping for people, and I don't know. So this one got out late here, so I apologize. But let's jump right into it. Hitting it with DC first, and we got Teen Titans Academy number 9. So I'm back on this road again. Been kind of off and on. It interests me. We have Roy Harper, who's back from the dead, like every superhero out there. So it's not terribly original, but why, how, hasn't been explained to us yet, because we're diving right into a mystery where about 5 of the kids are booking out from the school because we bring back an old school character called Simon. That's PSI, men. And his Fearsome 5. He's trying to create another Fearsome 5, right? So he's trying to do that, and he's picked 5 kids, all of them with daddy and mommy issues, all of them feel abandonment, all of them blah, 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 right? Well, Red X is one of these kids, and he ain't having it, so he basically decapitates him, but he's still on this kick about, hey, the Titans, they just want us to be like their cannon fodder. Like, that's his thing. Like, he just really despises them. He has trust issues, too, so I like the way this is written. I like the dynamic of it. I want to see some more of this. I'm on board with it. This is a fun read. Did anything like super major happen in it? No, it's just good comic book fun, really. Let's see here. The Joker, number 10. So yeah, like I said in the intro, it just seems like this comic book is just really based on these flashbacks. First it was Killing Joke, and then it was right after the Killing Joke, everything that kind of happened with his family, his son. Like that was this whole storyline here, and I hate the art in this. I did not like the art in this. Also, the punchline story in the back. Punchline escaped from jail and she's wreaking havoc. If you are a Punchline fan, let me know down below what your draw is to her. I'm not really sure why I should care about this character, because like they introduced her and she was super cool, and then like all of a sudden they just kind of like made her lame. So I don't know. Am I missing something? Let me know down below. I'd greatly appreciate it. Okay, so jumping. That's all my DCs. Unfortunately, I even got to the comic book shop late, so I wasn't able to get a whole lot. But we did get Wastelanders Wolverine number 1. So we're kind of, if you've been reading this, especially the last run, we're dealing with a baby Hulk, because the Hulk had a family and they were all cannibals. And if you're out of the storyline, this may seem like kind of an odd story. You're not really catching on to it. It's basically Daddy Hulk catching up to him in a suit of armor, because it's just his head, but he can still Hulk out because the whole thing's powered through gamma radiation, and Wolverine can't get him because the armor's apparently made out of titanium, or he's not strong enough, whatever the case is. Baby Hulk is like taking on Wolverine as his dad now, and punches his head off, since you can't really kill him, right? So what do? Wolverine digs a hole and like throws it in him and says he's going to put a tree there so the roots kind of grow into his head slowly and painfully over a long period of time. Great ending. But I don't know if I care about that. I don't know if I'm really interested in a basically, Baby Yoda, Mandalorian story just with Wolverine and another green creature. Did anybody else get that vibe? Let me know, because that's what it feels like to me. I don't know. Next, the Thing pops off, and he's got a guy. I think it was a Brisket, or not Brisket. Was it Brisket? Regardless, the villain in this one, not terribly an interesting villain. I thought it was very weakly written. Escapes underground. Apparently he's delusional, thinks this woman should love him, but this is the lady that was on a date with Thing. Thing ain't having it. They do a little battle thing. Um, it was just bad. But something escaped the villain, so we may be getting some kind of, I guess they're called cameos now, cameo appearances of this particular character jumping around because they never really made it clear. I feel like it should be Eclipso. I don't know. We also got a young man in here, or a young boy, who has some sort of secret. Doesn't like to talk a lot about himself. Cuts everything off short. Doesn't really answer any direct questions. It was interesting. Next, Hulk number 2. Oh man, I know Legion of Comics is just gonna eat me up about this one. I know he is. So I thought, it was such a great premise, spaceship Hulk. I was like, no, I think he's kind of doing this thing where it's like the body's the shell, and then the emotions are one part of you, and then the logical mind, and what happens when that gets all jacked up. So what happens while he's traveling through space? Bruce Banner, another Bruce Banner, bald, one-eyed Bruce Banner captures him, and I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. He just kind of flew through space. There was some the emotional part of Hulk in this, I guess is what we'll call it. There were some interesting battles in there, great action scenes. The art seems really good. Plus, anytime you get to show Marvel monsters, that's always a plus for me. But I don't know, not this issue right here. Just really kind of didn't really resonate with me in any way. It was actually kind of boring. So yeah, there's our variant, because we can't say enough of that anymore. Variant Bruce Banner, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was Picard. Yeah, we'll give it one more issue just to see if it goes down where I thought it was going to go. All right, next, my pick of the week. Oh, my pick of the week, Delta Dogs number 20. Man, I love this story. All right, so we have Stray and Alpha. They're on, it's a train heist. They're going to do a train heist for these powered pills that give you superpowers for a little bit, and you can OD on these. So they're kind of the representation of a drug, an enhancement type drug, right? So we meet these two characters. They're a member of a rival gang, and they've taken the pill. They got superpowers. They have unique characters. We also get a little bit of an origin story in here from them as well. Major heist, and the whole thing just goes to crap. It was awesome. I love the dialogue in it. I love the backstory, and of course, it's local to me, right? Like they were talking about Tide Stadium. That's where our local team plays here. The different areas, you can actually see it in the background. We find out that sometimes people, are in gangs for, you're always in a gang for the wrong reason, I would assume. But they kind of have to be there to protect their family because dad made a bet, lost a bet. It's a whole tragic backstory to it that ends in horror, and it's just the worst case scenario. But luckily, our heroes got away, and we're going to continue on with this story and see where it goes. I'm getting kind of interesting on who Black Worm is. It's a character. He's a leader of one of the sock gangs. So yeah, I'm on board with this. Also, real quick, Vanel, Young, if you're watching this, thank you very much for the Delta Dog package. I got a whole stack of another run of comic books from them. I got dog tags and some prints, and it was really cool, and I really appreciate it. You can't give me enough of that stuff because I definitely want to give it to people, and I want them to read it because it's good. All right, next, Primordial number 4. Again, another one. I feel like I should be getting behind this and liking it, but I'm not, and I feel like I'm the only one because everybody's ranting and raving. Although I will say, they're always ranting and raving about some variant covers in this, but this, I don't know. Like they're doing something kind of Space Odyssey with it, right? With the monkeys and the dog, and there's a lot of talking like children in it, and I'm still trying to figure that out. Like if they have the ability to actually speak now, why would they just talk in these kind of baby goo goo gaga type ways? I don't know. And before you do their intellect doesn't have them handle complex languages. Animals' ways of communicating are more complicated than man. Just throwing that out there. But for the most part, I'm probably more interested in this kind of the secondary story, I guess is what we can call it. with the scientist and everything, trying not to get caught while he's over in East Berlin, while they're trying to send out this signal or ping, if you will, across space and time. I did like their depiction, which was an explanation of how kind of time distorts and bends, right? So if you set off a signal here, by the time it gets there, about what the difference is, but that doesn't mean that the time changes here, right? Because the time is relative, right? Right? It is complex. Einstein did a whole mathematical equation about it. Just throwing that out there. All right, next, Berserker. I'm still gonna read this. I don't really care, even if it's bad, because I do enjoy some parts of it. In this one, we get the soldier talk, right? So a soldier gets wounded, Berserker saves him. He's got superpowers. They connect a little bit, but really, come to find out, it was all just a ploy to get him to open up and talk and kind of see where the scientist can kind of see where he's at, as far as trusting them and all this other stuff. So sneaky, sneaky stuff in the background. So yeah, that much I liked. Also, we stole some sort of artifact in this, an old artifact. Apparently, that's going to be relevant later. Next, Out. So I'm enjoying this. I like these kind of, you know, World War II, Nazi Germany type stories where you add like the supernatural into it, and that's what we have here. We have a code talker who I find it very odd that he's able to speak some dialect of Czech, but I'll go with it. But apparently he can kind of communicate with this monster thing, and of course, there's a little bit of the American soldiers there. They're a little racist, and they don't like the English guy, and they don't like the Native American guy. But that's okay because the monster ate the main bully. Just walked up behind him and ate his head right off his shoulder. So, that was great. The artwork's very graphic in here, and I like it too. It really brings the story to life. So I enjoyed that. That's definitely up there on the list for me. My second pick of the week. I have two picks of the week this week. That's weird for me. This one's called Cloaked. I don't know. This wasn't on a whole lot of radars out there. It's good. It's kind of like a Batman story with guns, right? It's a gun-toting Batman type character, but they're taking it at a different angle on this one. He's violent, vicious, but he may not be as heroic as we seem to think he is. After meeting one of his little sidekicks and finding out that the kid was just bait. Like, he'd go pick him up on the street, tell him where to be, pick him up on the street corner. This is sounding bad. This sounds like some hold on before you leave the house. No, but so yeah, and then the kid would walk through the front door or whatever while he jumped through and shot everybody, and they'd leave. And yeah, now everybody's grown up. Rich guy wants to find out who Cloaked was. I'm guessing it's the rich guy that hired the detective to do it because, wealthy guy, Batman, you get it, right? So yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Nice little haul this week. I'm still recovering from C2E2. What else is going on in the community? Ooh, January's in the mix. You don't want to miss that. We're going to have another rap battle, and your boy Pocan has to step up his game because he found out that we have a special judge. I don't want to say who it is. That's DJ Lynx's thing. I don't want to say who it is, but it's like a legit freaking rapper. I'll be honest, I'm a little intimidated on this one, but I'm going to come bring my best game that I can. What else is going on this week? Community hangouts all weekend long. Christmas time is coming. Oh, and at the end of the month, we're going to have a project over at the Evil Build project, or Evil Air Projects and Builds. I forgot my own channel name. We're making a web shooter. We're making a couple of them, really, but I'm only going to film one. We're going to make a couple of these and get these out to a couple of kids out there. So that's going to be kind of cool. A little Christmas mischief, if you will. A little web shooter thingy. Yeah, so that promo's up now. The little sketch thing that I do. That's up there on Evil Air Projects and Builds right now. Link down in the description if you want to check it out. All right, guys. I got nothing else. I'm going to get out of here while it's still early. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.